Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Megan and thank you very much for tuning in. So today's video is going to be 7 hot weather horse care tips for you guys, because I thought since we are kind of in the middle of like the hot season here in Canada, I thought it would be nice to give you guys some tips to take good care of your horses during that heat time. So quickly, if at the end of the video you liked it, please give it a thumbs up because it really supports me and my channel. And also don't forget to subscribe because I upload a new video every week, and I will leave all of my social medias link as well as Molly's Cookies one into the description box below. So let's talk about the tips. So tip number 1 is to provide shade.
Okay, so make sure your horse has a place who provides relief from the sun. For example, a run and shed, just like this one. Trees can be good too, but just keep in mind that when the sun is moving, so will the shade. So maybe only having trees is not the best idea, but if you have both, then that's perfect.
Move the air. So if your horse is staying inside in a stall, a fan is a great way to move the air around. And moving the air just provides the barn from getting as hot as it would normally be. But just be cautious though, because it can be very, very dangerous if your horse can get a hold onto like plugs or cords or stuff like that. So make sure that he can't get any of those little things, because that can be very, very dangerous. Tip number 3 is to hose your horse.
I've read somewhere that having like the little gadget that put mist onto your horse is better, but I'm not fortunate enough to have that in my barn. But if you do, I would definitely suggest you to use that. However, hosing your horse when it's too hot outside is a great way to cool them down and cool their return temperatures. And like, it's nothing new. When it's summer, you hose your horse. So this is one of the greatest tips to avoid heat strokes.
Number 4 is to always provide fresh and cool water.
All the time, your horse should always have some fresh and cool water, especially during hot season. Having a bucket of water in the middle of the paddock is going to get warm, and it's not going to be really appealing for your horse to drink water, so he might not drink enough. And it is super important for them to stay hydrated, especially during hot season. Also, a tip to make sure your horse drinks enough water is to put some salt or electrolytes in their feed. I always put some salt in Molly's feed all year long, just to make sure that she stays hydrated all the time.
5 is to slow down the work. So if you're in the obligation to still ride your horse, make sure to shorten your session and also allow him to cool down properly. Another tip I have for you is to keep some bucket of water in the arena and allow your horse to sip this water throughout your whole ride. Don't let like him drink all the bucket of water at once, but like sip through all the rides. I just think that, you know, it's a great way to avoid heat stroke, and I like using that when it's too hot outside and I still have to ride. Personally, when it is above 30 degrees Celsius, I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit, but I'll write it in Fahrenheit over here. But over 30 degrees Celsius, I never ride any horse because I found that it is too hot. If it is too hot for me to do anything, then it is way too hot for them to do anything as well. So like, I just avoid riding my horses above 30 degrees Celsius. Tip number 6 is to avoid sunburn.
I've talked about it this week in a previous Instagram post, but especially white horses, the one with blazes, socks, with pink noses, they always get sunburned, like all the time. Instead of using sunscreen, I use this baby cream called Zencofax, and I swear by this cream, it works magic. Molly never gets sunburned with this type of cream.
And finally, tip number 7 is to know your horse and the signs of heat stroke. So at all times, you should know your horse's normal temperature and normal heart rate, normal respiratory rate. So at all times, you should know that. If you don't, to find the heart rate, you just need to find a pulse and count the beat for 15 seconds. then multiply that number by 4, and this will give you the beat per minute. So this is going to give you like the normal heart rate of your horse. And honestly, like a heart stroke can happen during hot season if exercising, but it can also happen just by standing in a hot stall or in a hot trailer. So it can happen anytime. So knowing your heat stroke signs is honestly like, you should always know that. If you don't, I'm going to give you the signs now, but keep that in mind because you'll need it for the rest of your life if you have horses. So yeah, the signs of heat stroke is that your horse is going to have an elevated heart rate that doesn't return to normal. So if your horse have an elevated heart rate for a minute, but then it does return to normal, don't panic. But if it doesn't, then this is a sign of heat stroke. Also, he's going to have maybe a lack of sweating or excessive sweating, temperature that persists above 103 degree Fahrenheit. He's maybe going to look depressed or lethargic. There's maybe like signs of dehydration, poor capillary refill, stuff like that. So these are all signs of heat stroke. If your horse has this kind of sign, call your vet and he's going to tell you what you need to do to stop the heat stroke. So if by any means this helped you with the hot season, please give this video a thumbs up and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!